Namaskar, good evening. This is Briefing Room and I'm Swati Joshi. Now for decades we have been made to believe that ideology is the glue that keeps the flock together in politics. What is a political party without its ideology? After all, but we weren't told that this is all just in the context of fooling the Janata. We were all so naive. Some evolved beings would perhaps look down upon you for taking it as the gospel truth in the first place. Ideology was just a distraction to keep you from questioning the hunger for power, to keep you from the dark, ugly reality hiding behind those crisp white attires that became synonymous with a Neta. Just look at the images on your screens. The glue that binds them together or keeps them distant from their opponents is certainly not ideology. The better word for this situationship is opportunity. What's even more interesting is how none of them, the party from whom the support is being withdrawn or the party that might get this support, seem to be bothered about ideological differences. Today there is a buzz over the possibility of the Congress and the TMC coming together and possibly even merge. The party is facing an exodus, TMC is facing an exodus, and that's why there is a growing buzz around a possible merger formula between the Congress and the TMC. Congress MP Imran Masood suggested a TMC merger with Congress was possibly the only way to stop those who are trying to break the opposition. He suggests that the only way to stop a breakup of the opposition would be to have the two parties come together. However, on the other hand, top sources indicate that the TMC has held no talks with Congress regarding the merger, and for now, their focus is only on strengthening the INDI bloc. Remember, this is despite the fact that over the last 48 hours, Mamata Banerjee met Sonia Gandhi and Abhishek Banerjee met Rahul Gandhi, fueling further speculation over the possible merger of the two parties.
टीएमसी और कांग्रेस के मर्जर की कुछ खबरें जो है वो सामने आ रही है कि आपको लगता है कि आज के समय में ये जरूरी है कि टीएमसी और कांग्रेस पार्टी का मर्जर हो जाए?
देखिए, तुरंत करना चाहिए। मेरी अगर आप व्यक्तिगत माने तो तुरंत करना चाहिए। रास्ते तो ब्लॉक होंगे। जो लोग जीतकर कहीं से किस विचारधारा पे आते हैं और उसी विचारधारा को त्याग करके एकदम विपरीत विचारधारा में पहुंच जाते हैं, वो कैसे लोग होते हैं? जिस पार्टी ने आपको दिया है उसके लिए आपका इतना भी समर्पण, इतनी भी वफादारी नहीं।
क्या मार्जर? हम लोग असेंबली में हमारा जो लेजिस्लेटिव पार्टी है, हम लोग तो कांग्रेस में नहीं जा रहे हैं। और जहां तक मेरा जानकारी है, पार्लियामेंट में जो एमपी लोग हैं वहां भी 2/3 से ज्यादा लोग तो कांग्रेस के साथ मार्जर नहीं हो रहे। तो कौन किसका मार्जर? जहां तक हमारे सवाल है और जहां तक मेरा जानकारी है तो एमपी लोग नहीं जा रहे हैं, हम लोग नहीं जा रहे हैं, म्यूनिसिपैलिटी नहीं जा रहा है, जिला परिषद नहीं जा रहा है, पंचायत नहीं जा रहा है। तो कौन जा रहा है? मार्जर का कोई सवाल ही नहीं है।
Now, while there is a churn in the opposition ranks, the government is preparing its own strategy for the upcoming parliament session. Government sources tell Times Now that the women's reservation bill could be tabled in the upcoming monsoon session. Not just that, the delimitation bill could also be on the centre's agenda. It appears that the government is testing the waters amid the fissures in opposition. Top government sources have told Times Now that the government has reached out to the DMK as well as the Samajwadi Party on the two bills. The government appears to be hopeful on getting 2/3 votes that they would require, the special majority that they would require this time to get the bills passed. So the strategy is clear. The opposition is divided and now is the time to strike and get what the government wants. So here's what's happening in the opposition as we speak. In the TMC, at least 19 of the Lok Sabha MPs are now with the rebel camp. Rebel MP Kakoli Ghosh Dashdar claims to have the support of 20. And then you have the DMK. DMK has 22 MPs in parliament. The party did not attend the INDI bloc meeting on the 8th of June. Several allies also called out the Congress party for not being able to get the DMK on board. And then you have the Aam Aadmi party. They have only 3 MPs in Lok Sabha. But the fact that they did not attend the INDI bloc meeting suggests how they may not be fully aligned with the INDI bloc on key issues. And then you have parties like the YSRCP, Shiromani Akali Dal. YSRCP has 4 MPs in Lok Sabha and the Akali Dal has 1 MP in Lok Sabha. The NDA government needs to muster more support, and with the churn in the opposition, now could be the time for the government to make that happen. So the big question is, where are these numbers going to come from? If these reports are to be believed that the government is going to table the women's reservation bill and the delimitation bill, then is there a strategy that it has already worked out? Before we get into where the government is going to get the numbers from, let's first break down the details of what happened in the last session when a legislative package was introduced. Remember that legislative package, it included the 131st Amendment, it included Women's Reservation Bill and the Delimitation Bill. But they could not cross the 2/3 magic figure, the special majority which is required. So let's break down the details. As far as the total strength in Lok Sabha is concerned, that stands at 540. Now, the votes that were needed by the NDA to get the entire legislative package passed, votes that the NDA actually needed to make that happen, to create history, is 352. And this is based on the attendance or the strength of the House on the 17th of April. But how many votes did the NDA get? They wanted at least 352 votes so that that legislative package could have passed. But the NDA got just 298 votes. So they fell short by 54 votes. They fell short by 54 votes, and had they got the 54 votes, then the NDA would have been able to get the entire legislative package passed. That would have included the Constitution, 131st Constitution Bill, Women's Reservation Bill and the Delimitation Bill. Now, this time the government seems to have more support on their side. Already at least 19 MPs, as per reports from Mamata Banerjee camp, from TMC, are now ready to back the government. Big faces like Shayoni Ghosh, Kakoli Ghosh Dashtidar, Shatrughan Sinha and Yusuf Pathan are part of this rebel camp that are now ready to offer their support to the current NDA dispensation. Those are the reports doing the rounds, and that is part of the list which is doing the rounds at the moment. Mamata camp of the TMC claims that the exit of these 20 MPs won't have much of an impact on the party. While that remains to be seen, this would certainly affect the opposition's numbers in the parliament, and that's something the TMC isn't ready to admit just yet.
We are very happy. Let me tell you, we are very happy. These double character peoples have gone.
Good riddance of bad rubbish.
We need a fresh blood. Leader is Mamata Banerjee. Symbol, Trinamool symbol. We don't bother. We are very happy. 20 की वो उसका ज्यादा भी हो जाएगा, कोई असुविधा नहीं है.
ममता बनर्जी को, अभिषेक बनर्जी को इतना पावर नहीं देना था. अपना पावर हाथ में रख के अभिषेक को साथ में लेके चलना था. अभिषेक और ममता बनर्जी दोनों मिलके अगर चलाते अच्छा से पार्टी चलते. अगर उसको इतना पावर दे दिया, उसका गलती, और उसने काई पैक को इतना पावर दिया, वो भी गलत था.
So what happens now when the government decides to bring in the women's quota bill? Let's explain the scenario. So let's take a look at the scenario, and this is how we decode the sunset deadlock. This is scenario number 1. If 20 rebel TMC MPs back NDA, then the new total for the NDA is 312. But what NDA needs? 48 more votes, 48 more MPs to support them, to ensure that the Women's Reservation Bill along with Delimitation Bill passes on the floor of the House. So that's scenario number 1. Now let's take a look at another situation, and this is a hypothetical situation. One where the DMK would abstain from vote. So first, you have the rebel TMC MPs, if they back the NDA, and on top of that, and this is a hypothetical situation that I'm talking about, on top of that, if you have 22 DMK MPs abstaining. Now, of course, it's difficult to wrap your head around this because this is an issue, the Delimitation Bill is an issue that the DMK vociferously opposed, remember, and they fought the entire Tamil Nadu election on that issue, saying that the center, that the BJP is only betraying people of the southern part of India. So they had raised this issue during the assembly elections. But let's suppose, it's a hypothetical situation. Let's suppose if the rebel MPs back NDA and 22 DMK MPs abstain, then again, the total remains the same. NDA plus the rebel MPs of the TMC would be 312. The new 2/3 majority, because the strength comes down, would be 346. But still, the NDA would need 34 more MPs. Now, remember the report that I told you about? This is what top sources of the government said, that the government tried reaching out to DMK and the Samajwadi Party as well on this issue. So these numbers, 34 more MPs of the support, could come in from there, the Samajwadi Party angle. But again, everything is in the realm of speculation. It's a hypothetical situation, like I said. Let's go across to our guests. We have Sanju Verma joining us on the broadcast national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and we have Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, joining us as well. Good evening to both of you. Sanju, I want to come to you first. Perhaps you can share with us some inside scoop of what's happening, this Mahaganit. Where are the numbers going to come from? If reports are to be believed that yes, the government may bring in the women's reservation bill and the delimitation bill in the upcoming session. Do also respond to the allegations of what the BJP is doing with the TMC.
You know, Swati, first and foremost, I have to thank you for that very comprehensive introduction with respect to numbers. As you rightly said, if only 20 TMC MPs were to give support unconditionally to the BJP, it would need 48 MPs more for the delimitation and women's reservation bill to sail through smoothly. If along with these 20 TMC MPs, DMK also were to come in with its 22 MPs, then the going for BJP will be very smooth, because then it needs only 34 additional MPs to have a 2/3 majority that is required to pass the delimitation and women's reservation bill. And if both the TMC and the DMK MPs were to come together, तब तो BJP के जो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, पांचों इंगलियां घी में और सर कढ़ाई में. I'm sorry, this sounds, a very hilarious analogy, but for want of a better analogy at this stage, I'm using this. My limited point is this: whether BJP needs 48 more MPs or 34 more MPs, whether 22 DMK MPs will support BJP or only 20 TMC MPs will give outside support, that is not the moot point. The moot point is that the DMK now has parted ways from the Congress party. And it has been a very unpleasant divorce. It has been a divorce which has not been on mutually acceptable terms. The DMK refuses to even sit with the Congress MPs in the Lok Sabha. A former DMK leader has said that Congress backstabbed the DMK. So the limited point is, if you ask me, will the DMK give issue-based support to the BJP on the delimitation bill? My answer is yes.
Okay.
And why do I say that? Because N.K. Stalin has repeatedly said, Swati, that let population not be the sole metric for determining which state gets how many seats in the Lok Sabha. Let there be other metrics like GDP, debt, development-oriented agenda, so on and so forth. So maybe the Modi government will also walk 2 steps forward and say, population alone will not be the criteria. We will include some economic criteria as well. And don't forget, DMK of 2026 June is very different from the DMK of April 2026 or March 2026.
Absolutely.
Today, DMK stands whittled down to just 56 or 57 odd MLAs in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. So for the DMK to take a strident approach at this stage is politically, pragmatically harakiri.
Okay.
So I think the DMK will not be as strident as it was 3 months back, which is good news for the delimitation and women's reservation.
Interesting. हिंदी में ये भी कहते हैं कि लोहा गर्म है और हथौड़ा मारने का ये सही समय. Tehseen, this 2+2 is happening because one, of course, DMK has said that it is quitting the INDI bloc, but also because Akhilesh Yadav, Tejashwi Yadav and others in the INDI bloc were upset. They wanted to know why is it that the Congress party couldn't bring DMK on board. They did raise the question of DMK's absence.
Good evening, Swati. Thank you so much for having me on your wonderful show. At the onset, many congratulations to our Prime Minister on his fantastic achievements, and congratulations to Sanjuji. For Sanjuji's sake, I just hope her head is not in the kadai with hot oil in it. It's just in the kadai without the hot oil for her sake. We don't want her face burned. We want her more on times now. But on a more serious note, these are all hypothetical questions you're asking, Swati. These are sources based. Nobody stopped Shri Akhilesh Yadav ji or Tejaswi Yadav to call up Stalin sir and get him into this India alliance. I mean, if the onus is on Rahulji, then that means Rahulji is the leader of the India alliance. So that settles that debate. You can't have both heads I win and tails you lose. Now to the second part of your debate. We, the citizens of India, we the people, will not allow a delimitation to happen solely based on population. From my state of Maharashtra downwards, states that have complied with the central government guidelines of keeping our population in check and contributing the most to the tax of this great nation of ours, it is unfair on us that we lose our strength in the parliament. It is unfair that states that did not comply with this union government request in national interest and don't contribute high to the tax will be given an advantage over us in compliance. So this union is based on promises. The promise is of equality, and you cannot treat us as unequal after we fulfill all our commitments to this great nation of ours, to which we owe our loyalty. The third part of it. What the BJP is doing and all of this manipulation, they got one Nepo kid today to resign. She resigned. They've got that land grabber from Gujarat, MP of TMC to come in. We understand all of it. They may think they will win, but the people of India will not allow them to win. Okay. The people of India will not allow the delimitation to happen. Maharashtra onward down, we are not accepting it. We will not let it happen.
All right.
No agreement. If you want to put in criteria, first come and talk to us.
All right. So, name calling is the new normal. So, nobody is objecting to that. But Tehseen, and Sanju has already addressed the issues that you were raising. She said maybe the Modi government will come up with such measures and that would be acceptable to the opposition. But what's not in the realm of speculation and what's not hypothetical is when the DMK and others said if the government is clear that there will be an increase of 50% and it's going to be a win-win situation for everyone, why don't they give us that in written, an assurance in written? And to which, in the House, the Home Minister said, थोड़ा सा समय मुझे दीजिए, हम इसको include करवा लेते हैं और आपको नई प्रतियां, नई कॉपी भिजवा देते हैं. So that was not hypothetical. If that happens, then?
To that specific question that you asked, let me also use another phrase. If my aunt had an Adam's apple, she would be my uncle. It's all hypothetical. But what the Honorable Home Minister did speak in Parliament was not in the bill. He said, I'll add it. But you know, and Sanju ji knows, that any bill brought into Parliament must have an objective, and the objectives must cover it, and it must meet. Otherwise, it will be struck down or it may not see the light of day. So if that objective was not put, even if the Honorable Home Minister did put in a line and come get it in, it would not. So he'll have to draft a new bill. Once he drafts a new bill, whatever new conditions he puts in, he'll have to come before us. He'll have to sit with us. He'll have to talk to us. And which is exactly what I said in my first opening remarks. If the Honorable Prime Minister and Home Minister are bringing a proposal, let us hear it. Let us hear them out. Let us hear what they have to say. Wait, let them take our counter offer. But don't make the mistake of trying to bully us.
Okay.
We will not be bullied.
Okay.
In every great war, remember in the Kurukshetra, the Pandavas had a lesser army than the Kauravas. Yet it was the Pandavas who were victorious. Don't think because you have a bigger army and bigger numbers, you will bully us.
Okay, Mahabharat also brought into picture now. Sanju, go ahead.
I just want to lay a couple of facts out there for your audience. Rahul Gandhi repeatedly says that Dalit और आदिवासी ये दो समुदायों को सबसे ज्यादा representation milna chahiye Lok Sabha mein. If the delimitation bill, the 131st amendment goes through, your audience needs to know that the representation of Dalit MPs will go up from 64 to 131. It's not a 52 or a 62 or a 72% increase. It's a 99% increase. Forget about the fact that the number of women MPs will go up to 273 plus, assuming the overall Lok Sabha strength goes up to 816. Even Adivasi MP Swati, currently the tally is 47. That will go up to 71, which is again a 52% increase. The number of representation in terms of MPs from Southern India will go up from 129 to 195, which is again a 51% increase. And even overall in terms of percentage, Amit Shah said this last time during the delimitation debate, the representation of Southern states will go up from 23.76% to 23.91%. So I don't know what is the problem that Rahul Gandhi has. Women MPs की संख्या बढ़ रही है, दलित MPs की संख्या बढ़ रही है, आदिवासी MPs की संख्या बढ़ रही है, Southern states का representation बढ़ रहा है. I feel the problem is not with the 131st amendment. Because it is being brought in by the Modi government, Rahul Gandhi Gandhi refuses to oblige because of his visceral hatred for anything done by Modi government, both bad or
anti-Modi. Okay, you're saying the agenda is only to do Modi Virod. Tehseen, very quickly.
Exactly.
Do come in.
Let's first of all, if you want to give women reservation, I think women must get reservation. Give it right away. Give it right now. We are ready to support you. We are standing by you. But you don't want to do it. You have no guts to give women reservation. But let's come to numbers, because Sanju is fantastic with numbers and I respect him for that. Today, my state of Maharashtra has 48 MPs. The great state of Uttar Pradesh has 80 MPs. The difference between the two is 32 MPs. Let's see the formula of 50%, which we don't know is hypothetical, goes through. Then my state of Maharashtra gets 72 MPs and the great state of Uttar Pradesh gets 120 MPs. The difference between my state of Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh becomes 48 MPs from 32 MPs. What is this? I kept my population under control. I contribute the highest tax to the country. I contribute the highest GST to the country. I contribute the highest in every aspect positively to the country, and I am made to suffer. For what? For what should I suffer? What have I done wrong? I followed everything this great nation asked me to do. How dare you take away my rights? How dare you take away my rights? I will not agree to it.
Okay, Sanju wants to come in. Sanju wants to come in.
You know, Swati, for a change, Tehseen and me are having a very sensible debate. I would say this. You know, if it is just about which state contributes how much to the central government's tax kitty, I have said this. I come from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Then Maharashtra should not be sending 48 MPs to the Lok Sabha by virtue of contributing 33% to India's direct tax kitty and 37% to indirect tax kitty, and 75% of all maritime trade in India originates from Mumbai, and 87% of stock market transactions originate from Mumbai. That is not the point. You cannot have financial metrics alone deciding which state will send how many MPs to parliament. Because if that were the case, then given the fact that today Karnataka is in the throes of bankruptcy, Telangana is in the throes of bankruptcy, are we to say Karnataka's share should not be the current 29 MPs that it sends to parliament? Are we to say that Telangana should not be sending 17 MPs to parliament because state ke finances ki dhajiyan udi hui hai? That is a very myopic way of looking at things. Or are we to say that Tamil Nadu has 10 lakh crore plus of debt, so why should Tamil Nadu send 39 MPs to the Lok Sabha? That is not how things work. Sometimes 2 plus 2 is 4, but sometimes in politics 2 plus 2 is 22. My limited point is this. Let us not miss the woods for the trees. Women will benefit, Dalits will benefit, Adivasis will benefit, southern states will benefit, states like Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, which have been sidelined.
You know, but the point is then the government, the Modi government will have to come up with a formula that is acceptable to all. And that is difficult. To come up with a formula that fits everyone, that's tailor-made for every state is going to be difficult. And going by what happened in the last session, you need the opposition on board. Tehseen Poonawalla, the real talking point here is, if DMK and Samajwadi Party agree, let's say, again, hypothetical in the realm of speculation, then it goes very clearly against the Congress's mindset and agenda. As for Sanju Verma, which is only to oppose the Modi government, and if the rifts are signs to go by, then is there a possibility?
Let me put this way, but first, I never said finance should be the only criteria. If that was the criteria, because that's not a good argument to make, then the current GDSP, the current debt to GDP of the government of India is 80%. I mean, they remove central government away from states and PSU, 80%. So they should not have a say in GST. That doesn't work like that. I agree with Sanju on that. We're not talking about debt, we're talking about contribution, but I agree that should not be the criteria. I was talking about population, where we've kept our population under control and we're being punished for exactly the criteria of keeping the population under control. Let's come to the larger issue that you read. If the DMK, and let me read my lips clearly, if the DMK thinks that they will make the mistake of walking out and helping the BJP and thereby giving the BJP numbers by getting the overall numbers down, please don't think we are fools. We will come on Times Now, night after night, and expose the DMK. We will expose the unholy alliance with the BJP. We will show how they are in bed with the BJP. The same DMK that called Sanatani dengue and malaria is now helping the BJP and the BJP.
You see all the flaws.
I will not, we will chase
right
them.
After the breakup, right after the breakup, you see all the flaws now. But you know, interesting times ahead, that's all I'm going to say. And I'm completely out of time. Sanju and Tehseen, thank you very much for joining us.